Hello, movers and shakers. Jay Burnham, Six Figure Moving Academy. How the heck are you? Today, guys, we're going to be talking about branding / rebranding, and choosing a good, positive name that fits your brand. All right, stay tuned. Hi, guys. As you know, I am Jay Burnham, and this is the Six Figure Moving Academy. Today, we're going to be talking about branding / rebranding and choosing the correct name. Now, some of you guys have made, if you're part of my Six Figure Moving Academy Facebook page, you'll notice that I am going through a transition with my moving company. My moving company, which is called now You Save Moving and Storage, I believe has an improper message for the target audience that I'm going through. Second situation that I'm dealing with is that there is a scam bad mover out in Staten Island that literally has taken my exact name, You Save Moving and Storage, and they're operating under that name, and they're really bad movers. And I'm getting a lot of negative reviews coming to my Google pages and my Facebook pages and putting bad reviews up. I went from a really good, almost perfect score down to a 3.5 stars on Google because of these bad reviews that I'm getting. And they're not from my company. These people I've never moved in my life. I'm trying to get them to change it and go to the right page, but most people just aren't responding just because of the bad service that they've done. And I've talked to the guy, his name's Sean. He's got a weird foreign name. The guy is just, he's basically following the same format as Luis Massaro did when he was running his broker company. He operated under different companies to protect him. So I had different shell companies, if you will. One shell company owned another shell company that owned another shell company, and it's really bad. So that way he protects him from him getting sued. And I think it's just bad business. And unfortunately, it's affected me adversely. So I've got those two situations. One, I'm changing my business model where the name that I have now isn't really appropriate. And two, I can't overcome. I've tried to talk to Google, and they won't do anything about these bad reviews. So I'm going to change my name so I can overcome that. Yes, there is going to be some pain through the transition, both financially, emotionally, and so on and so forth. I'm going to have to rebuild a reputation, but that's all aside. But today we're going to be talking about branding and then choosing the correct name that will fit your brand. Now, I'm actually going to do another video on how to actually choose the right name. So we're going to do I'm going to do a whole companion video to this. And you can see that right up there or over here. And I'll make sure that there's a card and you can go into that video and get that. So I do have that thing, choosing your company's name, right? So that said, let's go into figuring out what our brand is. And before we choose our brand, there's 4 questions I want you to answer. These 4 questions will open your eyes to exactly what you're trying to achieve. Okay? And I'm going to give you 4 questions, and then I'm going to give you, after I've given you the 4 questions and explain those questions and why you want to ask those questions, I'm going to actually give you a tweak on a couple of the questions so that you can actually tweak it so you can actually really narrow down in what you're going to go for, okay? So let's start off with the first question, and these are in order, so you got to answer the first question, second question, third question, fourth question, and it's got to be done in order, okay? So the first question is, who is your customer? Who is your client? That's the question you've got to ask your business. So who is your client? What's the audience that you want to go for? I want you to create your audience in your mind's eye. I want to create, who is the audience you're going for? Are you going for the apartments? Are you going for the lesser income? Are you going for middle income? Are you going for high income? Who is your target audience? What's their age? What is, where do they, sorry, I'm starting to get ahead of myself, but what's their age? So on and so forth. Okay? I want you to start figuring that out. I want you to ask that question. Who is the clients? Who are you going after? Okay? Second question is, where can you find them? Okay, now you know who, you got to know who your client is. Let's say you're going for middle income family, which is totally acceptable and absolutely fine. So you're going for a middle income family. So you're going for families whose homes are probably worth $75,000 to $150,000 if you're in my area. But basically, you're going to go for the medium price of homes in the area, right? And maybe a little bit less than that, maybe a little bit higher than that. But you're going to go for the medium average. So if the medium income of your area, let's say, is $100,000, people are going to probably buy a house it's going to be probably about like $75,000 to almost $200,000 worth home is probably that medium income. Okay, good. So where are you going to find them? Where do they hang out? Where do they shop? Where do they? What are their? What hobbies do they do? Where do they congregate? Where do they go to church? Where do they go to church? If they go shopping, where do they go shopping? Are their kids in school? Where are they going to? Where are the kids going to school? And so on and so forth. Where do these people go? You want to know online, offline, everything. Where can you find them? Are there kids playing sports? Are there kids in band or drama? Or are they doing some other extracurricular activities? What do they have? Do these people have hobbies, or do they volunteer? Where do they hang out? Is basically, where can you find them, right? Third question is, now that you know who your customer is, now you know where to find them. The next thing is what bait are you going to do? Are you going to use to attract them? And when I say bait is synonymous with advertising. So what kind of advertising are you going to use to attract them to your service, right? Or product, if you got a product. So what kind of bait? So we know where they're hanging out. Let's say we know what kind of radio station they're listening to. Maybe they're listening to the classic rock station. So if they're listening to the classic rock station, then putting up an ad on your local classic rock station might be a good place to put an ad. Are the guys or females into sports? Then you might want to put it on a local sports program. Do they collect the local women's magazine? Put an ad in the local women's magazine. Obviously, there's the traditional things. You got Facebook advertising, Instagram, on Google, and all that. That's part of the what you're going to figure out, right? But you got to figure out what's the bait. Are you going to send out postcards? Are you going to send out flyers, mailers? What are you sending out? What's the advertising that you need to do to send out? What I would do is I would go and I would find a moving company or a company in your area. Find a company that is in the same basic generalization as you. So if you're going for middle income, find a moving company that's successful in that group of people. Okay, find out how long they've been in business, and then try to find out. You could go to similarweb.com and you can see what kind of ads, if they're putting any on Google or so on and so forth. You can find out if they're sending out postcards, whatever they're doing. And just model your company after them. If they're using a postcard with pink lettering, you use a postcard with pink lettering. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you try to invent the wheel, you're going to go down a road that's going to have a lot of hardships. Can you be successful? You might be. Doubtful. But if you go down the road that's already been laid out for you and all you have to do is follow the path, boom, 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 and make some improvements along the way, better yet. That's a better road to travel. Okay? And lastly, the fourth question. What result do you want to give them? What's the result you want to give them? Or do you just want to give them, And there's no judgment here. Do you just want to give them an okay result? Okay, they're happy, but they're not ecstatic. You want to give them like wow, or do you want to go above and beyond? What's the result you want to give them? Or if you're going to do something on hourly, maybe it's just getting it in there, getting it done fast. That's the result. I want to do it good, but I want to do it quickly. That's the result. Excellent, fine, not a problem. Or if you're just doing labor, I just want to move it, put it in there, load it up as quickly as I can, the best I can, and move on from there. That's fine too. Absolutely wonderful. Not a problem with that. Okay? But you're going to have to ask yourself, what is the result you want to do? Now, after you've gotten those 4 questions, right, our case here, we're going to go from, middle income family. They're probably between the ages of 30 and 45. They're professionals. They have some disposable income, but not a lot. So you still want to keep yourself, they go to the traditional, they do a lot of stuff with the family. So they do family vacations. They do a lot of stuff within the community with sports with their kids. So we know where they're hanging out. So the advertising is, we're going to go to sporting events. We're going to sponsor sporting events. We're going to sponsor the schools. Make sure our banners are up inside the schools. If they have a school fundraiser or anything where you could put up a booth, you're going to put up a booth. You're just going to be very active in the community where those parents are going to hang out. Obviously, you're going to talk to real estate agents that deal with that, specifically that. So you're going to rub elbows with those real estate elbows that deal with the middle class families, so on and so forth. And the result you're going to go for is you want to give them the best service at the lowest rate, which means you're going to have to keep your overhead low and still maintain high quality, which means you're going to probably want to go for pay your guys a little bit above average, but you're not going to give them, they're not going to be the top of the line guys. You're going to try to have the best trucks possible that you can afford. So they're going to probably use trucks. So you're probably not going to waste too much time making sure that everything's, nailed down, stripped down, just because it's going to cost too much for doing it. I mean, you're not going to go out and put 200 feet of floor runners. You're not going to make sure every door jamb is padded. You're not going to make sure every rail on the stairs is covered and protected. You're going to do what you need to do to get it done, but you're not going to add that extra layer of service to it, which is fine because you can do a great job. But that's the result. So you want these guys who want to be very happy with them. You're saving them a little bit of money because they don't have a lot of disposable cash. But you're not going to be the cheapest guy out there either. So you're going to be right there middle of the road. Okay, great. So now we got that. So now that we got those questions figured out, we know the middle income, they got some disposable, they're professionals. We're not gonna cut corners necessarily, but we're definitely not gonna be doing a full service. But we're gonna give them the best service we can at the cheapest price at the quickest amount of time. So a name like you wouldn't want to say budget, but you want to say might name it the company something that relates to that. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe something that's going to relate to them, like Quick and Easy Moving, or Quick and Simple, or Top Discount Movers, or Top Budget Movers, or something like that. You're going to choose it. Maybe it'll be your last name. But you want to communicate your name once you got those questions answered, the name that you want to do, you want to make sure that it's going to give the right impression for that crowd of people that you're attaining, right? So if you're going to go for the middle class, you want to give something that's middle class. Could be like my last name is Burnham. It could be Burnham Moving and Storage or Burnham Relocation. It could be your last name. It could be, you could put in that you're affordable, truly affordable moving or whatever, but you're going to put in something that's going to show that you're affordable, yet you're but you've got a great quality. Okay, so whatever that name could be. And I'm doing a whole nother video about choosing a name. But basically what I'm trying to say to you is choose a name that's going to go after your target audience. All right, you're going to want to pick a name that's going to, when they think of the name, when they talk of the name, they're going to think, okay, this is if you're going for the very high end, this is the best of the best. Or if you're going for the middle, this is the middle of the road. Or if you're going for dirt cheap, okay, this is kind of dirt cheap. You know, whatever your goal is, whatever the result you want to do, and what your clients are is what you want to do. Okay, does that make sense? But now let's actually answer. Let's tweak the very first question just a bit. Okay, let's tweak it just a little bit. Right? Having been in the moving business for 10 years, I know the kind of customers that are giving me problems and the kind of customers that are not going to give me problems. I know exactly what I can do and what I can't do, what I'm capable, what I'm not capable of. I've come to those conclusions, and I know. So in my whole journey here, I went and I answered these same questions, and I came out and I went, okay. And that's what I did when I first started my company, You Save Moving and Storage. I wanted to be that guy that was like kind of middle of the road. I didn't want to be the cheapest, but I didn't want to be the most expensive. Now I'm changing my business model, and I changed my business model because I changed the very first question. And instead of asking myself, what is the client, who is my client or who is my customer, I added a modifier before the client, the word client or a customer. I asked, who is my dream customer or ideal customer? Now, when I asked that question, mind blown, right? So now I want to go after my dream customer. That's who I'm going to target, is my dream customer. So who is my dream customer? Well, I've dealt with my dream customer is a person who values service and quality of service over money. They're not going to choose the mover based on money. They're going to choose the mover based on the quality of the service. They're of the impression that they are being given to the customer. That's who they're going. Someone that they feel they could trust, and the amount of money that it takes, hey, that's fine with them. If it's a $20,000 move, they'll pay $20,000. That's not even in their wheelhouse. That's not even in their mindset. What they want to do is they want a job that's going to get done and done right. They want it, when somebody comes in packing, they want to make sure that the silverware are wrapped. They're not just thrown in a box. They want to know that they're when they put the clothes in the box, it's not going to get wrinkled. They want to make sure that the guys, when they come into the store, their feet are not dragging over the dirt. And when they move out, maybe somebody will come in and do the cleaning. They'll provide everything. And so that's what I chose to do. I chose to modify the very first question. And instead of just asking me, who is my customer, I asked put a modifier in front of the customer, and I asked, who's my ideal customer? Who is my dream customer? My dream customer, money's not an issue. It's not even in their wheelhouse. Okay, $20,000 to move a 3,000 square foot home, done. Not a problem. I can have that. But I just want to make sure that I'm getting the best of the best of the best, right? And that's who they are. These guys in the past experience had the best service. I got the best reviews. I got everything from them because they really appreciate somebody who's going to do it. So make sure that might be something you want to do. Who is your ideal customer? Not just who's your customer, but who's your ideal customer? Who's your dream customer? Who is that? When you start asking that question, then these other questions, bing, right, start coming alive. And then you can also see that, some of these if the higher end guys, they're not really going to spend their time on social media. They might have a Facebook page, but these guys are busy. They're busy building businesses. They got money. They're out with their families. they're really not too worried about being on Instagram. You know what I mean? They're not. That's not where they're hanging out. They're not hanging out on Instagram. They're not hanging out on Facebook. They're not doing Twitter. You know, maybe their kids are, but they're not. Right? They got the nice cars. You know, they like to keep their cars nice. You know, they belong to a country club versus just going to any random golf course. You know, their kids go to the best schools, maybe even some private schools. You see where I'm going with this? All right. So that's the video today, guys. These are the 4 questions you want to consider when you're going to consider your branding and choosing a name for your business. Hopefully this was good for you. You guys liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. If you want to see the 4 questions, they're going to be down in the description below. And guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. When you do, hit that little bell icon right next to the subscribe button. That way you can get notified when I do a new video. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.